Hey everybody, welcome to Anarchy, the podcast about anime with two brothers. I'm Ben.
And evidently I'm anime.
You are anime, which raises so many questions, and I want none of them answered.
I mean, I assume that means I'm a mistake, which is...
You are a mistake. Hey, here's some breaking news sent to me today.
Anime was a mistake?
Actually, it's not breaking news. Apparently, it's from 2 weeks ago. But,
what?
Hey, you remember that show during the Otake show that we did? That was like some Shota ends up in some girl's dormitory and blah, blah, blah.
Oh, that's coming uncensored to the States in like 5 different uncensored editions, which is like delightful in some ways.
With a third, quote unquote, see-through version.
Yeah, which is like the censored version, only you can see through the censoring, which is kind of hilarious. But like, look, here's the deal. When it comes to like censoring anime and stuff for the States, one, depending on what venue you're going to show it at, I am okay with it.
On Cartoon Network.
I do think they should allow like the fully uncensored nonsense. Because like, look, I'm not going to claim it's art, but you know, look, it's
we have the First Amendment. This is our right.
It's like Sharp FE. One, don't get mad when they censor the teenage girls' like skimpy outfits. 2, can I push a button so I can have it back, please?
Yeah.
Let's have it both ways. And this is okay. I'm okay if you're going to have it both ways. It's perfectly fine. Also, did you hear the other news that Interspecies Reviewers is getting an uncensored release on DVD?
Oh, on DVD. No, I did not hear that. Why only DVD? Why not Blu-ray? You got to see you got to see garbage and trash in high def.
Again, we are both some of the olds. When I say DVD, obviously I mean Blu-ray, but I will call it a DVD.
I mean, you say that, but lots of shows that I know that should be on Blu-ray are still not.
Yeah.
Mononoke being top of the list.
Yeah, well, some of that has to do with it being old and nobody in the States caring enough to fix the problem. But you know what I mean.
So when does Redo of a Healer show up on DVD/Blu-ray uncensored?
I don't think that's ever going to happen.
Or
Twitter will explode.
They have not cared about it at all.
Oh, not since it was announced. Yeah, no, of course not. And which is hilarious considering how bent out of shape everybody got about Goblin Slayer.
I know, right?
Again, is like, okay, fine. If you want to get upset about it, knock yourself out. But also, like, look, it's Japan. Japan is different, okay? Like, just understand that.
I talked to a friend last night about this exact thing, and he pointed out that Goblin Slayer was on Crunchyroll for free, and so people were watching it and got freaked out. This other thing, Redo of a Healer, which is terrible, and no one should ever watch it or read it, don't even look it up, it isn't on anything other than some hentai streaming site.
Well, I mean, okay. Well, at least it's found the appropriate audience.
Holy balls, though. It is on Blu-ray. You can get the first disc, $150.
Oh, boy.
Oh, boy.
Enjoy that. I mean, if that's what you're into, man.
Yeah, episodes 1 through 4.
See, one was platformed, and the other was deplatformed. I'm going to get myself into so much trouble. I should just stop talking. I live in Seattle.
The storm is here, by the way. We're talking about Redo of a Healer, and then the thunder starts.
See?
Yeah.
That's how it happens. You're going to get lightning cooned.
Probably. Anyway, so what have you been up to since last we spoke?
Work. Been working. I've been selling board games, selling Magic. Been selling lots of Magic.
Yeah?
New Magic set. Selling lots of it.
When are they going to come out with an anime Magic set?
Oh, no, don't. Okay. I legally can't talk about it. But look, don't wish that.
Okay.
Don't wish that. Okay, so we're going to cut the recording. All right, because I'm talking about something that's perfectly legal to talk about. Okay, we have talked about very legal things to talk about. So basically, long story short, we talked about very legal things to talk about.
Yes.
Because we live in America where we have free speech.
I retract my previous question, and we'll never speak of it again.
It'll be redacted.
Yes. So, well, last week, and I guess this week, I've been keeping up with Kobayashi's Dragon Maid.
Oh, I hear that is quote unquote problematic, which is fair because look, dude, that guy has a fetish and he is into it, and that's fine. But some of us like tomboys, so like,
it's not your jam.
It's not for all of us.
But you remember last time we talked about Kobayashi-san? We reviewed the series, and what did we call the title of the episode?
I don't remember.
It was World Class.
Oh yeah, it gets very world class.
It gets I would say Galaxy class.
Yeah,
And it ain't for me. At least
Look,
that part.
Hathor the Cow Goddess has a following.
It's a thing.
Don't Google Hathor the Cow Goddess, but if you know what it is, you know what we're talking about. You know what I'm talking about. My brother probably doesn't know Hathor the Cow Goddess, so that's good.
I feel like I've heard about it and I've shoved it out of my brain.
That's wise.
But Dragon Maid remains a just horny dragon show.
See, that's my light problem with it, is that it is that the actual like plots, stories, and characters are actually like really good. But gosh, he's got to draw the biggest breasts on these dragon girls. Just the biggest. Bombshell doesn't even do it justice.
And they have to boing like every scene.
Oh boy. Yeah, it's just like, okay, look, I get it.
They boing.
If that's what you're into, that's fine. Can we keep that in the manga?
No.
And make the show a little less?
Is what Kyoto Animation has decided is top priority.
Their grand re-entrance after the tragedy that befell them.
As they bound back into the collective consciousness.
As they bounce back. They have bounced back, that is for sure.
I've also been watching the new season of Slime Show. And
okay.
I know that right now we're in the diplomacy part of the show because, he's building civilization. It's a civilization show, right?
Yeah.
And we're at the part where he has built a kingdom. He has defeated the army of a different kingdom, and other kingdoms are now like, well, who should we align with? Blah, blah, blah. Let's all talk about it for 4 episodes. The last episode was entitled, let me go find it. It was entitled
Info Dump.
No,
Info.dump.
Well, yes, but it was titled Ramirez's Warning. Doesn't matter who Ramirez is, but at the very start of the show, Ramirez, the titular character here, shows up.
Hey, don't use a phrase like that close to Kobayashi, but okay.
Fair enough. She shows up and says, guys, your plan won't work. You're all doomed. They hard stop her there, essentially knock her out, and then they continue on the episode, and then it ends. We never actually find out what her warning is.
Oh, well, la-di-da.
This is the type of show we're dealing with. I'm sure it will pick back up at some point. I don't know when.
Yeah.
And that's all I've had time to watch. I want to watch...
That's fair. Also, I finished up the Fear Street trilogy of horror movies. Yeah, they're pretty good.
Really?
Yes.
What I want to watch is the Edatin Gods or something.
Oh, yeah, I'm curious about that still, yeah.
Yeah. It started yesterday, but I haven't had a chance to watch it yet.
But yeah, the Fear Street trilogy, if you like horror movies, I recommend giving them a watch.
I used to read all those books back in grade school.
These are very loosely based on Fear Street, but,
I see.
Look, again, it's modern media landscape where unless it's a sequel or tied into some nostalgia property, no one makes it. So they say that it's tied to Fear Street because it's a horror thing and we use some of the location names.
Makes sense.
The end. But yeah, no, they're good horror movies. I think the second one is probably the best, but they're all quite solid. It's one of these few trilogy movies that kind of stuck the landing fairly well. So
it was not directed by J.J. Abrams? Is that what you're saying?
No. It's Fear Street 94, Fear Street 1978, and then Fear Street 1666. But they're quite good.
Yeah, that's about it.
That's about it. I'm gonna watch Bad Batch once we're done recording to get the new episode. I have liked the last 2 episodes of Bad Batch because they've got baby Hera in them, and that's awesome.
Okay.
Hera Syndulla.
No idea.
She's resident Din mother for Rebels. Because you haven't watched Rebels.
I've not.
You don't watch good American animation.
I don't watch any American anything, really, honestly.
Look, Rebels is good.
I'm sure it is.
Clone Wars is okay.
It's on my list at some point to watch someday.
Rebels is good. Watch Rebels. That's basically why I'm buying X-Wing, is because it turns out a bunch of the Rebels characters have X-Wing ships in the X-Wing miniatures game. So now I'm just collecting all of the Rebels crew in tiny ship form.
See. So they gotcha, is what you're saying.
I mean, look, I'm going to have a little ghost, and it's going to have Hera pilot it, and I'm going to have all her children fly around, and it's not a competitive list, so I'll get blown up. But it'll be Hera and her babies, and it'll be good.
I don't know how to segue from that into being bullied.
I mean, Hera doesn't get bullied.
We'll take it. You want to talk about being bullied?
Let's talk about being bullied.
How about you don't bully me or toy with
Yeah.
me or
That's a bad translation.
It is,
You know,
isn't it?
a lot of people have complained about some of the like the sus thing in like that's like one of the
no,
hot
that was
talking
that was
points.
fine. That's a
That's
good
that's
translation.
fine. Yeah, no, that's perfectly acceptable, especially the way that these girls talk. But some of the other translation things made me really that's what we're gonna do. But we can talk about that a little bit later. But there's some translation things that just make me sus. Make me sus.
Make you sus.
Like, don't toy with me is like, no, look, like Ichiwaru is like bad. Like bad. Like that's a very negative word.
I found out that in Latin America, it's being translated as
Oh, that's amazing.
Nome
That's a much better
Jodas,
one.
Nagatoro, which
That's a way better translation already. Like that's absolutely better than what we got. I don't want to complain about like political nonsense, but like I feel like that's the reason why they didn't say "don't bully me" is because they're like, well, bullies, we're not supposed to like bullies, so we can't use that in the title. We're going to use "toy with me," which is very different because again, Ijiwaru is a much stronger word than the one they translated it as, and that's not quite right.
it is. And
Don't fuck with me, Nagatoro is a way better translation. Way more in line with Ijiwaru, I feel, than toy.
wait, I've got a meme for this. Because Nagatoro
Meme it
is
up.
amazing, if for nothing else, all the memes.
That's true. It's got good faces.
There you go. Have one of many memes that I will be sending you today.
Ooh, say. Someone likes the show. Hold on. I need to send this to my wife because I need her to, like, she's been asking, like, is this like a tsundere show, like a Tuli Dooley, which is what I call Toradora. And it's like, no, it's different from that.
It's its own thing. It's more in line with Takagi-san. Is that the right one? Teasing Master Takagi-san.
I haven't watched that one.
It's essentially the same thing, except he brings it on himself rather than it being foisted upon him. But don't bully me, Miss Nagatoro is probably my favorite manga of the last 3 years.
It's really good. Like it's weird because it honestly what would almost make it a little bit better if it was set like in late middle school, because like that's how certain types of people interact with people they have crushes on, which is just to like taunt them to no end.
Well, Takagi-san does take place, and that's more light teasing. I think the themes, especially in the manga, because we haven't gotten that far with the anime itself, but the themes are more suited for high school age, I think.
Yeah, especially the shenanigans they get into. Like, this is one of the few shows that does like sex jokes and like ecchi, like teasing stuff, like really well. Because a lot of the ways that Nagatoro messes with Senpai is like, ooh, I'm gonna like do teasy nonsense. It's like, oh well, I got called out on it. Now I'm very embarrassed, and this is all very awkward now. I was using that just to deflect so it wouldn't go anywhere, but now you're taking me slightly seriously, so now I am very embarrassed.
Exactly.
Like, that's the show, but it's good.
This is a show. It is from Nanashi. He's the mangaka.
And don't Google his old stuff, I assume?
Don't look up his old stuff at all.
To be fair, that goes for like 90% of mangaka, but some more than others.
Well, most mangaka, I think, they get their start with drawing certain art. Certain gentlemen's special interest literature.
Yes, that should only be enjoyed by people of a certain age.
Yes.
And often feature people of another certain age, and don't look into that too much.
So, they get their start doing that, but they're not usually known for just that. Where Nanashi was known specifically for that for years and years and years. Like, that was his thing, and he leaned into
that was
it
his
hard.
jam.
And this, Nagatoro, actually started as just a 4-shot web comic where she was like legit nasty.
Yeah.
And he decided, actually, I can make something out of this, because the reception was pretty strong. So
yeah, I mean, that's why she gets toned down a little bit as it goes.
So
she's
the
a
plot,
little less like actual sadistic.
If there is a plot, it's there's a introverted dude named Senpai, because you don't know his name
ever.
Well, you do at the end, very long ways off in the manga. He is in the library one day, and he sees a gaggle of girls, all the popular girls who are being loud and obnoxious. And he
popular is not quite the right phrase. They're kind of they're slight delinquent. They're a step above delinquent girls, but yeah.
Yeah, I guess that's accurate. Anyway, they are they're very extroverted, and he accidentally drops his manga that he was drawing, and they all make fun of it, except Nagatoro, but they all go off to have donuts, and Nagatoro stays behind and just lays into Senpai. And you think in episode 1 in the first chapter of the manga that she is just nasty as hell. But the plot is that is not the case. And it's adorable.
She has a quash. Yes, she has a quash, and she only has one way of expressing her quash, and it is to crush this man's spirits, hopes, and dreams. But secretly, they both like each other, and it's very cute and adorable, and there's much blushing, and they're very good friends, even though she's kind of a bitch. But
also, the best reaction faces.
Yes, lots of great reaction faces, and especially once other people start teasing Senpai, you get, like, just some of the best, like,
yes.
Don't f*** with that. You mess around, you'll find out.
Internally genociding just all the time.
Yes, and they do very well in the anime bringing that to life, of just like, yeah, no.
That was probably the biggest thing I was worried about when they announced that, yeah, we're going to bring this from manga to anime. There were two things I was worried about. One was the reaction faces, because they are just so well done in the manga. And I was worried, they're going to just generify them. But no, it's a core aspect of the art.
No, they nailed it. And they also did a really good job of like going into schmoopy mode by changing the line art. That was really good. I liked that.
That was nice. The other thing I was worried about was some of the comedic timing. I don't think they 100% nailed it, but it's really hard to do that.
It's hard to translate comedic timing in a comic format because you have page turns and like these really important splash panels and beat panels that cannot translate into image, but they still did a pretty good job.
For what they did, I think they did a bang up job. But I will contend that while I did like the show and it was delightful, the manga's so much better.
Oh, yeah.
Go read it. Plus, there's like 3 seasons worth of manga out. There's only one season.
Now? I have only read the manga through basically where the anime stopped.
So that's the about how anime much I've read stops around chapter 38, but it also cuts out like several chapters.
Yeah, a whole bunch more shenanigans. Because, I mean, the show still does a good job of being like 90% Yonkoma-esque slice of life nonsense and gags.
Yeah, but they cut some of
too
them
much
out.
of a plot.
Yeah. But it does about 30 chapters worth of stuff. And as of this recording, there are 86 chapters out. So,
oh boy, I have a bunch more to read. That's nice.
Oh yes, you've got 2 nice arcs.
And I don't know if it's in the States, but if it is, even if you read it online, buy it, support it.
It is
more
in the
Nagatoro
States.
in your life. Good, buy some. I've not seen it at the Barnes & Noble, because every once in a while when I'm at Barnes & Noble, I'm like, oh, I'll pick up more Mieruko-chan. I'll buy more of that. Not because I haven't read it, but because it's like, this is good. I want to support people. Which is getting an anime. Haha.
It is.
Very exciting.
In the States, the 8th volume will be released on August 17th.
Oh, wow.
So it's 2 Tankobon behind.
So I'm a little shocked. Maybe it's a little too saucy for the... No, it can't be too saucy for the Barnes & Noble. They've got, like, way worse.
I think it's too saucy for Seattle. Who knows?
Yeah, who knows?
Anyway, go watch it. Despite what you may think about the first episode, even my wife was like, she's just nasty. By the end of the show, she's like, this is the most adorable thing. It's
very, very cute. And, you know, it hits a lot right. She's not quite a yandere, but, you know, she's more mean than a tsundere. And she never does the thing that a tsundere does, which is just like outright deny that she actually likes Senpai, which is nice.
No, she dances around it.
Yes, she dances around it in a more believable way than it's not like I did this for you or anything. It doesn't do that trope, which is nice.
Also, when you do watch it, make sure that you watch past the ending of every episode, because there's usually a bonus thing at the end. You want to watch those.
Or omakase. Well, it's the episode preview, but the episode previews are a little different than a standard episode preview. Also, the opening is dope.
It is pretty dope.
It's really good.
So with that, let's go into spoilers.
Can we spoil it?
You can spoil jokes and really good punchlines.
That's fair.
Nagatoro is probably the best girl to come out in a long, long time.
She's pretty far up there as far as best girls go. I mean, she does beat out everybody from Rent-A-Girlfriend for sure.
100%.
She beats out everybody from what's that one show I watched? I can never remember his name. Snafu. She beats out all the girls from Snafu for sure.
The bar so far is like basically a limbo bar.
Well, look, these aren't actually like low bars. These are fairly popular, harem type love triangle shows. So like, come on. As far as popularity goes, in our opinion, yes, this bar is very low. But as far as like mass market goes, like that's pretty average bar.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to think of what else has had like some really good best girls. Does she beat Emilico?
Emilico? That's not even the same ballpark. Not even the same ballpark.
I'm not saying that.
When we're talking about best girl,
best
we're talking
girls
about
are complicated.
We're talking about waifu-esque material here. Emilico is so precious that she cannot be touched.
Well, what's the waifu site?
Oh yeah,
my
waifu something. My waifu list.moe.
See there, .mo. That's amazing. Okay, explore as a guest. Okay, so where is Nagatoro on this list?
Wait, you don't have an account? I have an account.
Look, come on.
Where is Nagatoro on this list? She is
224th. But she's lower on trash than she is on popularity. Oh, that's good.
She's great. I didn't know her birthday was
her birthday is April 1st. That's really good. I like that. A plus. Sorry that we've gotten way off topic, but this is mostly due to the fact that Nagatoro doesn't have a whole lot going on. It's kind of a Yonkoma gaggy show, but it's really, really, really good.
You say that.
Okay, seasonal best girls. Here we go. We can do seasonal best girls.
Okay.
This was spring. Was this spring?
This was, yeah.
I want spring.
Good question.
Now I'm very curious. Kind of like these top tier waifus with the best. I like how that's defined as best ratio between trash and love to trash ratios. Gosh, I don't want to see summer. I want to see spring. I want a new seasonal best girl for spring.
I don't know how you do that.
I do like how Katrina's really high up there. That's really great.
Anyway,
one of the characters from the time I got reincarnated.
So
okay, yeah. All right.
So the best part for me about Nagatoro is both herself and Senpai are not one-dimensional, and the whole point of this show is they start off as they're in the place that they start, and it's just a gradual, slow burn for them to grow over time. So
yeah, they kind of meet in the middle, right?
That's
one of the nice things.
They're meeting towards the middle, and when you read the second arc, Winter arc, you will see that the middle that they're aiming at is identified at least. And then they realize they have to work towards that. Of course, they do it in that whole roundabout way because they can't talk about the feelings.
Of course not. Every romance show is good because they don't talk about their feelings. But yeah,
Nagatoro starts out the show as just being a bully, kind of. But you'll notice that in that first episode, when everybody else is making fun of his manga, she doesn't do that. She stays behind.
No, she doesn't.
She points out, you are self-inserting you as this really trashy main character. And that is not who you are. And it's stupid. I don't know that she has a crush on him at that point, but within a couple chapters, or at least by the second episode of the show, she definitely does. And it's because he has dedicated himself to a thing. Now, you don't know why she finds that attractive until much later in the manga, but that's why she's attracted to him, and that's why she teases him all the time, is she's trying to get him to be better. Meanwhile, he is trying to identify things that he should improve about himself so that he can actually like interact with Nagatoro on her own level.
Mm-hmm.
So it's very, very nice.
He is slowly opening up, and she is slowly toning down, and that's good.
In the original run of the manga, after the first interaction, that first chapter, when she makes him cry, there's a bonus page where she's running down the hall and she's saying to herself, maybe I went too far.
Yeah.
So you know that maybe she's going to soften up. And you find out as the show progresses that a lot of her teasing is done, she's not sincere about it. For example, there is a game they play, quote unquote play, that is the nipple poking game. right?
Oh yeah, the Batsu game. Yep.
The Batsu game, where she's like, I'm gonna poke your nipples.
Again, this is another one of those things where it's like this does ecchi humor in a way that's not like gross, right? It does it in slightly more realistic way, where they interact like real human beings, being a little raunchy at each other, rather than animes with big boobs.
This is true.
Boinging. This is real. It feels more like real human interaction of people making dirty jokes at each other with somebody that they like. These are like, I'm joking around with my girlfriend or significant other dirty jokes, not anime nonsense. Yes. It feels very different.
There are two things I'll point to that are in the line that you're talking about that I think are great. One is just for comedic value. And that is where
for sure.
She calls him online and she's in the bath and she thinks that's hilarious.
Yes.
Because ha ha ha, I'm completely naked. Aren't you imagining me right now? You pervert, blah, blah, blah. And while she's doing this, she accidentally hits the video call and he looks down and she's, still teasing him and whatnot. And he freaks out. He's like, no, you need to,
you need to like turn that off.
Video's on. And she's like, what are you talking about?
Oh my.
And normally this would be like, she just starts screaming at him. How dare you? And he actually says, I did not see everything. And she tells him that's on me. That's actually my fault.
This isn't a Kya, you fell into my breasts show.
Right.
This is a much more like real, again, it's just a much more real feeling human interaction than main character from Love Hina fell into my boobs again.
Whoa.
The
second one is more of a growth moment. So this is like middle of the show. He's super introverted. He has a real bad time with girls, especially this particular one. And she has teased him several times already by like threatening to model nude for his art. Several times she's done this. It turns out she's been wearing a swimsuit under it. And so they're caught out the rain one day.
The rain, yes.
When
he starts calling her out on her bullshit, and then she's like,
the first
oh no,
time.
though.
That's the first time he decides, actually, because she says, don't look over here because, it's raining and my shirt's see-through. And he thinks about that. Yeah. He's like, well, last couple times she's done that, it's been a swimsuit. I need to take more risks in life. Aha! Oh, shit.
Oh no.
And
it actually was.
And she doesn't freak out either. Well, I mean, she's shocked and embarrassed, but she's like, actually, that sucks, but I like that. That shows that you've grown a little bit.
You're starting to call me out on my bullshit.
Yeah.
And really, it's my fault for not expecting you to call me out on my bullshit. So I'm sorry.
And that's the thing, is as the show and the manga progress, he gets better and better and better at that.
Yeah.
I think one of the best times that he called her out on her bullshit was when they went to the festival.
Yeah.
They go to this festival, right? And there's a whole thing. But then by the end of it, he actually grabs her hand and pulls her into the woods. And she's, giving him shit about, oh, you're going to, take advantage of me, blah, blah, blah. And actually, he's taking her to an old spot that he knows of that you can see the fireworks. Great. And they look at it for a while. Then she realizes, wait a minute, we're all alone. Was this your intention, Senpai? Coming up here to do lewd things? And at this point, he's like, no more.
Okay, no, give me examples. What lewd things are you talking about? No, I want specific details. Tell me, what do you think when you think of lewd things? Go ahead, hit me.
She's like,
what exactly do you think I was going to do here?
Things
go
like,
ahead. Go ahead, say it.
Like lewd things. The things that you do in your lewd.
Exactly. With what lewd things?
Like,
specifically, I'm too dumb and too much baby to know what lewd things are. Enlighten me, Nagatoro-san. Tell me what lewd things I should think about.
Embracing someone and then kissing them.
Like having a kiss. Like holding their hands is like her best.
Well, and then they turn around and realize there are all these couples around them doing exactly that. And both of them just freak out and run away. And then they just sit there with like 1,000-yard stares going, wow,
again,
that was a big firework.
Yeah, again, that's a much more human, natural interaction than you get from most ecchi shows, and that's really good.
It is good.
They did it good.
I just love it. You can see yourself being in these situations, right? It's not like complete wish fulfillment. It's
Yeah.
these two are learning to like one another in real time. What about Senpai himself? Is there anything you want to talk
Senpai?
about specifically?
Yeah, he's a bit of a wuss, but he's getting better. Bless his heart.
You know what I think about what Senpai is? I got a meme for this one too. Here you go.
Okay. Hit me up with the memes. All
Here's-
the memes.
But episode 5, he gets rid of his yee ass haircut. And by episode 7, he's got bitches on his dick.
I mean, fair enough.
He starts manning up. He's a good
He
boy.
does.
There's several spots where he comes out of his shell, even for just a second. Not only just to Nagatoro, but also to her friends.
Now, her friend, if people are going to call Nagatori like nasty, her friends are just like assholes, like straight
Well-
up. A lot of her friends are just bad.
Well, they start
They're
that
bad
way.
friends. Yeah, I'm sure they get better.
They
and
get way
and they
better.
even do in the show. Like even the climax of the show, they're starting to get better. But
Well, so I think one of the biggest ones that I really liked about Senpai's growth is where he sees Nagatoro and her friends at a picnic table, and some dudes, some bros from the school come down and sit with them and try to, coax
they
them
try
into
to mac on them.
Yeah, they're macking, they're putting the moves on, and they are not having it. Senpai has been lurking behind this tree like a stalker son. He steps out, then realizes, oh shit. The boys start making fun of him, and he walks up and just says to the girls, "Let's go," and they go with him.
Yeah. Yeah, he just gives them an excuse to leave.
And that's the point where the friends change their attitude towards him.
Yeah, that's true. They start being a little less menacing. Because, like, when they start, like, when the friends start showing up more, Nagatoro has started moving from, like, bullying to teasing. But her friends, like, straight up, like, they mock him instead of teasing him. And that's too much. But
Mhm.
Nagatoro calls him out on it. And that's good.
Yeah.
Calls him out in her own way. But yeah.
I would have liked the show to, and I think this is just down to they put a voice on him. The school festival arc. He was just a little too wimpy in that one, translating from manga
That's
to anime.
fair.
But I think it comes
part of
down to
that-
just they gave him a voice.
Yeah, and they did. It's only 2 episodes in the show where it's a little more drawn out in the manga.
Yep.
And they really wanted to get in some of his look. He actually does really respect the president of his club, and she's actually not like a terrible evil person. She's just kind of weird.
Kind of weird. Yes, kind of.
So
Just
yeah.
a little bit. We'll get to her in a minute.
yeah, she's special.
What about Gamo? She's the tall redhead.
Oh, I'm not a huge fan of her, but okay.
So here's the thing about Gamo is at the start, she thinks Senpai is just a loser, like all the other friends do. But she is the first to pick up that Nagatoro likes Senpai.
100%. And she messes with her that way, and that's pretty good.
Yeah,
but-
and throughout this first season, and I think a little bit past where the season leaves off, she is essentially on Nagatoro's side, teasing her about Senpai. But past that, it switches to her kind of still doing the same thing, but it's very obvious that she's really pushing her to just be goddamn honest with herself.
Yeah.
Just get it over with, girl. What about Yoshi? She's the pigtailed.
She's a good minion. She's the good lackey.
I'm really sad we didn't get past where the anime left off, because they were very faithful with Yoshi from manga to anime, where she is an idiot.
Yeah.
But is she though? Because what you're shown in the show is she's just a minion, and she essentially just repeats things to add emphasis to whatever like Gamo's saying or whatever Nagatoro
Yeah.
or Sakura are saying. As the manga progresses, that changes. She stops just saying the same thing that someone else just said, and she starts saying really just non sequiturs in other languages, but they actually make sense, but they're just off. So we don't know if she's still an idiot, or if maybe she is on the spectrum, or if she is some sort of goddess among us that we just can't understand her wisdom.
Among Us. See, now we're getting back to being sus.
Ah, good point.
Aha.
Yeah, that's all to say about her. What about Sakura?
Sakura, we don't get much of her in this one.
She's the femme fatale. She is used at one point. The group of friends and Nagatoro take over the art room because, you know, their normal spot in the cafeteria has been taken over by this group of gamers.
One, that's great because their plan is evil, but I do like how it slightly backfires and she just ends up joining gaming club.
So they send Sakura in, who is known to be a little bit
of a flirt.
A little bit of a flirt, a little bit loose. They just send her in to flirt with every single guy in that group until they're all jealous and all the group breaks up and then they can have their spot back. But instead, she finds out that she actually likes those guys. So
yeah, she likes those guys and she likes gaming, so she just joins gaming club.
Which is not actually in the manga. So I actually enjoyed that. Like, that was just sort of a throwaway thing in the manga. That was nice. She gets a little more hardcore later on in the manga.
Oh my.
Yeah. And then I think the only other person we're really introduced to this season is Bucho, club president of the art club.
Her and her assets.
Her assets are two characters in and of themselves.
That's true.
So what's funny is she's known for three things.
Her assets.
One is she is the third year president of the art club, who is very well known for her art, and she's very serious about her art. The other two things that she's known for are left and right, and that's it. The internet was very upset with the first episode where she was introduced because the anime did not do her assets justice at all.
That's fair.
At all. And then they fixed it.
That is kind of the point.
Because she's, I don't know that she's an exhibitionist, but she's a nut.
Look, what I like is that, like, she's all about your art should show you what you love. And what I love is me and my assets. So everything I draw is filled with the thing I love most, which is me and everything I've got going on.
Yeah.
Look, she's into tasteful nudes of
herself. There's the whole arc is, you know, she doesn't want to have the art club anymore because it's just her and Senpai, and she's going to cancel it, but maybe she'll change her mind if Senpai beats her at being the most popular art exhibition at the school festival. Blah, blah, blah. Long way around to last year, her exhibition was herself. It was almost banned from the school, but they relented and let her keep it up because it won some prestigious art awards like outside the school. So they let her keep it up. But this year they told her, we'll be the final say on, you know, what you put up. So she does it again.
Yeah.
In the manga, the school council decides, no, we're not doing this again. So she loses the contest on her disqualification. And that's the end of it. In the anime, they did this thing where they like talked about passion from everyone. Even Yoshi had some lines. I don't know if I liked that part.
It's a little weird. I thought that was like, I don't think that this is how it went down in the manga, but
it was not. We don't know if it worked. It kind of comes out of the blue.
I think what I like about it is it does again show that like she is not evil and like Senpai like honestly respects her and her artwork, and that's like cool.
No, and she does put a ton of passion into her work.
Yeah, it's just mostly because she thinks she's awesome.
Mm-hmm. And she also she's essentially Senpai's Gamo, whereas Gamo's pushing Nagatoro to you know, admit things to herself. But President is doing the exact same thing with Senpai. She recognizes the same thing. The best thing about Club President, though, is the running gag that from the end of that arc and onward, she randomly appears either somehow naked or in like the most ridiculous outfits.
Good.
And they are bonkers. Now I've got some other memes for you. You want to see some more memes?
Oh, sure. Meme it up.
So there are a couple of things that they changed from the manga that, you know, I get why they did it. One was in the episode where they talk about the vampire. You know, he watched a vampire movie last night and then she gets the idea.
Yeah.
That's where the juice meme comes from, which didn't translate that great over. Anyway, they changed the vampire that was in his movie from Nanashi's previous manga work to just a generic vampire, which was a good choice. Good choice. However, they also changed this, and I can't forgive them for it.
Yes.
Yes. Because Devil Toro is a thing, and for some reason the show cut that out.
No. They did a decent job with Devil Toro by adding in that little video game omakase type.
That was delightful. I love that.
The isekai omakase thing. Like, they did their best to try and get that back in.
That was very cute. And then the best meme that I'm going to send you, I think, all day is this one, because this really sums up the show for me.
I mean, yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. The one thing I want to talk about before we're done is some of the sketchy translation nonsense. All right. So there's the sus thing, which I think is way overblown. It's perfecally fine. The way these people talk is very slangy and very loose language wise, and that's perfectly okay because that's the type of people they are. But some of the other stuff is real weird. Like when they're mocking him for drawing ero manga, which is okay. I mean, he doesn't actually, but the girls mock him for that, and they translate that as hentai manga. And are you allowed to do that? Can you translate Japanese into a different Japanese word?
No, you ought not. Just say porn manga or just say ero manga. Don't go changing around these words, okay? Look, you can't just say ero manga translates to hentai manga because I have ears and no, they didn't say that Japanese word. But ero isn't even a Japanese word. It's an English word. So really, they're translating a Japanese borrowed English word into a borrowed Japanese word that isn't the same thing.
Don't do that. Either say erotic manga, ero manga,
or just pervy comics or something.
Don't.
Really, it's actually.
And then later they have the audacity when she calls him. They later in an episode call him hentai and translate it as perv. And it's but we already established. Hold on.
Yeah.
Don't go moving this stuff around. Look, they localized it. And in some ways that is okay. I don't mind a localized translation, but they went a little too hard on the localization. And localization works best when it's all text and none of it is spoken. But if you're going to localize spoken text, do the best you can. If you're going to localize phrases that are in the original language, to preserve that in some way, so I don't get this weird thing where they're literally chanting ero manga and you are translating it as hentai manga. Don't do that. Because I have ears and can hear.
What you're saying, if I'm following, is that the translation was sus baka.
Yes, it was a little baka sus.
Okay.
Don't do that. Just don't do that nonsense. Pick one. And again, in the dub, if there is a dub, it is then acceptable to do that, because then you're straight up localizing. Knock yourself out. I am an adult and understand the difference between localization and translation. But, if I'm watching the subtitled one, I expect a certain threshold of honesty and accuracy in said translation. Don't go pulling this nonsense where keikaku means plan, okay?
Keikaku always means plan. What are you talking about?
I mean, it does, but don't keep it just as keikaku.
Just as keikaku. And then expect
me to know what keikaku means. Just say erotic manga. Don't translate it as a different Japanese word. That's weird.
Anyway, everybody should go read the manga.
You should.
Because the manga is so good.
Hold on. I don't know what the word manga means. You mean comic?
Porn mag, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I got it.
Gentleman's special interest literature.
Yeah. Ugh. Very frustrating.
By the way, I did say way back in the day, hey, when I first found this manga 3 years ago, because of the juice meme, I told you that this would be your jam. Was I correct?
Yeah. Yes and no. You said it in the context of here's a yandere I would like, in which case you are incorrect. I like this in the same sort of way I like, is it Tomoyo-chan as a girl?
Oh, yeah. Tomoyo-chan.
Tomo-chan as a girl. I like it more in the way I like that. This isn't I like yanderes, therefore this is my jam. This is different.
Yeah.
Because she's not a yandere.
That's fair. Well, I didn't know at the time.
Well, that's fair. and this isn't like Aku no Hana type mean girls are my jam, but
That's
she's not that either.
Completely different.
I absolutely agree. But
Yeah, this would
look,
be
that is OTP for sure.
man.
But
That would be a. I guess somebody could do like they could twist it just a little bit, make Nagatoro like what's her face from Akunohana.
Yeah.
I forgot her name already.
yeah, I can never remember because I'm bad with names.
The short pink haired girl with glasses.
Yeah, the OTP. Yeah, no, we know.
They're crazy.
No, the best girl.
So what do you want to watch for next time?
Didn't we discuss this? Didn't we say, is it boxing? No, we were going to watch Midnight Diner.
Except with a taxi.
Except with a taxi. We're going to watch Odd Taxi.
Yeah, whichever one says is amazing. So let's find out.
Well, I think it's because people just don't realize I think it's one of the more breakthrough anime that's like a salaryman anime, which is just like, this is for olds.
There aren't too many shows for olds, to be
Yeah.
honest. So I'll take what I can
No,
get.
there aren't. So, and I think this is one of them, which is why people are like, what? This is so different. It's like, nah, this is one of the ones. Every season, there's usually like one show for an olds, and usually they don't break through because they're like a little too for the olds. Like
Fair.
here's a salaryman who is sad, but secretly likes to eat something. And it's like, yeah, that's one of the ones for an old.
Are we the olds? Is that how this goes now?
We are definitely the olds. Look,
Dang.
okay, so I was at the store and this young adult was like, yeah, back in my day, when we played Magic, no one net decked. I was like, oh really? What year was that? They're like 2011. It's like, dude, I am so old. Of course, people net decked all the time. I played Standard back then. yes, they did do that thing. I was there. I saw the Call Blade.
I lived through those dark
I lived
days.
the Call Blade. People net decked the crap out of. It's like they think that like just because Arena exists now people have net decked. It's like people have net decked since 2005.
You should have just had like 1,000-yard stare and been like,
That's about what I did. Again, like I'm not supposed to be mean to customers, but I was like, all right, now if that's what you think the world was like in 2011, knock yourself out, man. I'm not going to say you were wrong, but I mean, I lived them. I lived the Star Wars. Like I know what it was like. I was in fact a functioning adult back then.
don't talk to me about the old Magic. I was there when it was written.
Like again, like this was a thing. People were net decking back in Muradin block, and that was like what 2003. So like, come on, give me a break.
So I guess next time we will Odd
We
Taxi
will mock
or,
children, is what we will do.
or Unusual Uber or whatever.
Oh, I like Unusual Uber. Don't we hate Uber? Is Uber the one we hate, or do we hate Lyft?
I don't know.
I can't keep up with all the companies
I
we're
think-
supposed to hate.
I'm pretty sure we're supposed to hate literally everything forever. So just a matter of degree, really.
Yeah, no, that's true.
All right.
Until next time, hate everything.
Hate everything. Except Nagatoro.